Gacikova, and as I said last night, this is one of the largest locks on the River Danube, and definitely the largest lock for our transit of the 11 locks that we will go through between Budapest and Pisa. Now, as you've seen for our entry, the way it all works is this is known as the lock chamber, so we're going in the base of the lock chamber. The gates haven't been opened and the water has lowered for us to come through. As we make our way now into the basin, you will notice then that the gates will close behind us, and then there are valves all around the basin of the lock chamber, all gravity as well, no pumps. Once the gates are closed behind us, the valves will open and the water will enter the lock. We will then rise through the lock. Once we're at the correct water level, the gates in front will open and we will continue through. So that's basically it in a nutshell. But over the course of the next 30 minutes or so, I will be telling you a little bit more in detail. But that's like a overall summary. We are making our way upstream, we're going upstream, so we will always be going up. So the water in all of the locks will always take us up to the correct water level. Of course, it's completely the opposite if you're making your way downstream, and then you will always be lowered. But you'll go through the same locks, and it will all operate in the same way. It will just control the water levels. So really, without any of the locks, we wouldn't be going anywhere. We are very much reliant on the locks, locks working, and the lock masters, and the whole operation. So we treat them with a lot of respect, But once we enter the lock, usually most locks will take approximately 35 minutes or so. That's an approximate time of a normal transit through a lock. However, many different things can determine this. Firstly, you may have already noticed that there is a ship behind us. At Gacikova lock, because it's so large, we can fit various different vessels here, not just us. So I assume this one's going to come in with us, okay? So then when we're waiting for more vessels as well, and all different vessels, not just commercial liners, cargo liners, all sorts of things. But you can fit various different ships, so sometimes I've been here with like 6 different vessels, all lined up. So if you think if that many vessels are coming through at the same time, when the traffic is busy on the waterways, then this can take over an hour, before you've even moved. So it is very, very dependent.
I was wondering why it was so close on that side.
I'm going to explain this in a second,
This is the lock.
So we're coming into the lock basin now. The gates will close once both ships are in, and then we'll go. You've got it. Yeah. Exactly this. I'll go through this all again in a moment. Largest lock on the river, Danube, the Gacikova lock. From here, we'll be waiting for the ship behind us to come through. The water has already been controlled for us to enter the lock basin, so this is the chamber. The gates will close behind all of us. We'll wait for us all to get in position. I'll tell you more about why we're so close and things like that in a moment.
This is the largest lock that we will be using.
The lock master
You can sit down.
to tell us when to go. They communicate with the ship when we're ready to go. So we've got the forward.
So this is the largest lock, Ma, that we are using.
What do you know what? This idea came from China.
Then once
Yeah.
we are all ready and in position,
Listen to them.
valves will open, water will enter into the chamber. We will be lifted up to the correct level on the other side of that gate.
Is it
Gates
so?
will open.
Yangtze River.
Okay,
Okay.
so that's that in a nutshell.
Because I think we go up, right? Because they will place water. Because that gate will close. And there's another ship. Look at the other ship.
So, let me explain again the bigger picture. 2,850 kilometers long of a waterway is a long way. We would not be able to navigate through here.
Good morning.
because of the locks. question, how deep is the river? Well, it's so changeable through 2,850 kilometres. And let me put this in perspective. The best way for me to describe this is the draft of our ship is 2 metres, only 2 metres, the draft of our ship. Sometimes, as you may know, the water levels are so low, the River Danube, many different rivers, that we can't sail all the way through. So it can go lower than 2 metres. However, talking about depth, if you go right down to the lower end of the Danube, you get to the Danube Delta, which is practically an ocean. So that's how different the water levels are. So it's not just one depth, it's so changeable, which is why we have the locks. Because it's not all one level the whole way through, so without that, without these locks, we would not be able to navigate, we would not be able to get through. So that's the main reason we have the locks. However, you'll notice, and I'll tell you again more shortly, once we get to the top, have a good look around, because actually this Gapchikova lock is also used as a very high energy source for the surrounding areas. So it's almost working like a power station as well, yeah? Now, who could resist doing this right now? Who could resist touching the water? Go for it, people, go for it. You know, it's an unusual, unique experience to be through. Now, why do we get so close? Mainly due to safety, to keep us nice and safe and sturdy. Also to get all of our ships, or whatever ships are coming into the lock in position. But also if you're just one single ship right in the middle of the water, you know, different weather forecasts and things like this can move us around. So we don't want this to be a problem, we don't want this to be dangerous. So some of you may be able to see, if you look down and towards the middle, back past the captain, but don't get in his way either. We may be able to see that some of our nautical team are actually at a level below us, and they've attached a rope to the side of the lock. And this also keeps us in position, so we don't knock into any other vessel or exactly like a ship coming next to us. Once they are in position, they will do the same on the other side. So we're actually attached, and then as we move up or down, you're coming in a different direction, we will stay in the correct position and we'll just move up and down and not side to side. Clever, right?
That we don't have enough water and we have to climb up.
Plenty of water.
Okay.
Ma, sit down here.
So in a couple of days'
You're
time,
blocking
ladies
the
and
way.
gentlemen, as well, on Saturday,
Here, Ma.
we will be sailing through the Wachau Valley, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. This takes a few hours, it's stunning, yeah? In that time, I'm going to give you a lot more information about the river itself, the whole navigation, all about the Danube, all about the Wachau. I'll give you a lot of information there. But today I just want to concentrate really on the lock and where we are. What I am going to mention though, again I will tell you more about the ship itself in a couple of days. But you may have noticed, of course, we have the wheelhouse, our bridge. This is the main helm where the captain, the nautical team will drive the vessel, will sail us through. But for the locks and for our docking locations, you'll notice also we have controls on either side of the ship. So Captain Milos, as we came alongside, he was located here on the port side, and he's able to steer the ship from either side of the ship at the sundeck as well. Very, very clever. I'll mention briefly now, but I'm also going to go into more detail in a couple of days. You may have noticed that this ship, the whole top deck is totally retractable. This wheelhouse can move up and down. You may not have seen this yet, but you will do, okay? So we can move up and down so we can get through the bridges, and also the whole sundeck can be placed down. I'll tell you more in a couple of days. Don't miss it because it's amazing. The ship design is amazing. So now we've definitely got ourselves in position. I can see that Captain Milos is happy with this and the nautical team. We're already attached. We will wait for the other ship now. And then the gates will close behind us.
The gates will close behind us, so we will go up. Yes. Yes, that's ship, our ship.
So you can see already, ladies and gentlemen, as the other vessel has entered, the gates are now closing behind us. With the Gapchikova lock, because it's such a large, strong
See, the
lock,
gate is now
as I've
closing.
said, various different
Yeah.
vessels.
See, the gate is now closing, Ma.
You can see the gates here closing behind us,
Sima?
and they're closing lengthways, but there's a second gate that will come up and down as well. So you've actually got two gates side by side to go through, keeping things nice and strong. Yeah. So as you can see, the gates are almost locked behind us here. Two of those gates. Once that is ready and everybody's in position, the lockmaster, who's located in that office right there, at the top of the gate behind us, he's in communication with both ships. When we're ready, they will open the valves and the water will enter in. This is actually done on a gravity basis. It's not pumped in, no. It's all the gravity of the surrounding water and there's so much water on such a long river that it very easily and quite quickly, you may be surprised how quick it happens actually, the water comes into the chamber and lifts us up to the correct level. Once we're in place, the gates will open and off we go.
So once we see that there's already water coming out, it's because of the water level. That gate will open. Yes. But we have to be sure that the water level will fit that gate. But during your Yamcha River cruise, you also have ducks. During your Yamcha River, remember the Yamcha River? You had ducks as well. Similar to this one, right?